Hello, good everyone. Hello, good everyone. I was about to say good afternoon, good morning, everyone. How are we doing? We're here the morning after, the night before. We're here for the Euro
Oh,
Scout
yes.
Show here on Story TV. I'm Quinny. I'm joined by Feda. Feda, good to see you, my man.
Good to be back. Always love it. It's our show, and yeah, been a crazy night yesterday. There's gonna be some crazy. Tonight's gonna be crazy as well with Milan PSG and Dortmund Newcastle at 6 our time. That's
Yep.
pretty good. So I can watch both at different times. I love that because last time, sorry for not letting you speak, my man Jerry, but last time I had to watch them simultaneously, and I don't really like that because you can't really get into depth how the gaffers are actually playing the team. Sorry, Jeremy, your turn.
That's such a good. That's
And
such a
Jeremy
good intro.
Magan. Jeremy, good to see you,
Hi.
mate. How are you?
Good to see you too. I'm good. I'm a bit annoyed that everybody talks about how Fedo's last night was amazing at I will say White Hart Lane. It's not called White Hart Lane anymore, is it?
Spurs Stadium.
And no one talks about, like, I went to see Canberra United against Perth Glory on Saturday afternoon with a record crowd of 2,289 supporters. Like, come on. Feels
Let's
like there's
go.
some favoritism going on. 3-2, great goals, just the epitome of football.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, it's kind of the grassroots to the current day of Mr. Bostacoglu, Big Ange. So obviously, Feda, you were at the game last night. You got to see all the drama unfold live before your very eyes. So GG's to you, mate. Well done. Hope you had a great time. But it's definitely a game that's divided a lot of people in terms of actually who played better and what actually how the game shook out overall. Feda, from a man at the ground, what was your take on the game?
This is by far the craziest and maybe even the best game I've been to in my whole life. And I've been to very good games in my life, but this was amazing, brothers. We had 11 VAR situations. We had 10 goals, brothers. We had 10 goals, 2 red cards, and an added time of 22 minutes in total. You know, That was an absolutely crazy game, like unbelievably bonkers. I think Tottenham Hotspurs played so good the first 25 minutes. I haven't seen any better football being played except maybe Pep at his pinnacle. I haven't seen anything better. The second goal from Son, which then got called offside by VR, was absolutely beautiful. That's just Angeball at its best, to be honest. And I was very sad that didn't count. In the first 15 minutes, Chelsea didn't even have the ball. They had no freaking chance. If that would have held, no way. Then this penalty comes, basically. I think you can give the penalty. Of course, it is a penalty. To give a red is quite harsh, to be honest. And it destroyed the team a bit, in a way. So, first of all, you lose the big man, Christian Romero. That's a big miss, especially for Tottenham at the moment. And then still with 10 men, in my opinion, they were playing still better. They had the upper hand to the 1-2-1 the whole time, to be honest. Unbelievable. And then there was then they had to sub Madison and Mickey van der Ven at halftime as well because they got both injured. Madison, I think, is fine. It was more tactical than injury-wise. More tactical because he needed somebody, because he wanted to play a 4-3-2 basically, so he had to take off Madison. That was his idea basically. And then there was a stupid counter where Udogie had to foul him, because if not, that would have been a goal 1,000%. I'm not so sure if it would have been a goal because Vicario was immense yesterday. If they don't build that was the single greatest goalkeeper performance I have seen in my life. For real, that was immense. Guillermo Vicario, a lot of people were sleeping on him when he came from Empoli. He's a man, for real. And he was, the crazy thing about Vicario is he was pumped the whole freaking way. When they conceded, he was so angry. Even when they were 9 men and people were thinking, oh, you can actually concede and everything. But he was so angry. Until the last minute, he was shouting at them. Even at the score of 3-1, he was pushing them up, go, score and everything. Vicario, seriously, I gained a lot of respect for you in this game, for real. And then the game, I think, even with 9 men, Chelsea was on a Tottenham was on a pair with Chelsea. They played the craziest offside trap I've ever seen, but it was absolutely amazing to watch. Like absolutely amazing. And I think if instead of Eric Dyer, Mickey van der Ven, not Christian Romero, but Mickey van der Ven, who has the pace and everything, would have been there, I think they could have actually done it and played the 1-1, to be honest. Just Mickey van der Ven for Eric Dyer, because he lacks the pace. That's it. And you can't really defend him against a guy like Raheem Sterling, that the only thing he can do is basically run. Nothing else this guy can do. You know? And so that was crazy. So then it was 2-1 Chelsea. And then Son had the chance to do the 2-2. You know, he actually had it, and normally could have actually scored that. And then on the counter it was a 3-1. And then they fell off, and then said, okay, then really the fatigue showed, because bro, they run like for 12 men with 9 men. That was absolutely incredible. And then Chelsea won 4-1. And the craziest thing is, after 3-1 at the counter, where Nicholas Jackson then passed over Vicario and then netted it, basically, he had the pass to Mudryk, and he purposely didn't pass to Mudryk, because that's how much they don't trust him at the moment at Chelsea, you know? Because normally if you pass to Mudryk, that's 1,000% goal, because what he did was a bit risky. Vicario could have just snagged the ball, like for real. And he didn't do that. He scored. Chelsea then scored another goal. I think they should have scored another one, but Jackson, not being a great striker, didn't score the last one, just headed it over I don't know if you remember, like he was open on the goal, but he wasn't like a tap-in, but he was like 10 meters away, like on the penalty spot, and he blew it in the sky of North London. Yeah, crazy game. Was absolutely amazing, and what an experience. I couldn't have chosen a better game. I never expected it to be that great of a game. It was amazing.
I think it was a great one to watch as well.
I think the red card on Romero did change the game in favor to Chelsea. Not that Spurs couldn't have competed with them, because they were better until the 70th minute. And even after the 2-1, because they were still pushing. Pedro Porro and Son were doing immense things up front with 9 men, and Son could have actually scored that, and then it would be another game. 2-2, the people got hyped again, and probably they would have kept the 2-2. But if you get the 3-1, of course you're done. And with 9 men, you're done. What else are you gonna do? But I don't think that was a red card. And another thing which I was shocked to see, because they were playing this absolutely amazing offside trap, because they were pushing up so much. It's unbelievable. Still what they did. On the 2-1, people were checking on an offside from Sterling, I think. But I think Nicholas Jackson, who actually scored the goal, was an offside, to be honest.
So it's
an offside.
It's the whole phase of play part of it, isn't it? If Nicholas Jackson was like 5 yards offside, but it's then the ball gets played for Sterling. I think, I was really looking at that going, thinking, should Jackson be classified as offside? Because I know it is like the phase of play thing, right? But he directly beats Eric Dyer in a race because of the fact that he is standing offside when the ball is played. If you know
exactly,
what I mean. He doesn't beat Eric Dyer in a race that comfortably if he's onside when the ball was played for Sterling.
Who scored like this in was it 2012 or 2013?
I might clutch in there, but
it's like Ibrahimovic or whatever, who was 20 meters ahead of the defense and stayed there, and then the action happened on the wing, and then he was in the box and he scored. It's not the same because he didn't score because he was ahead, but it's that positional offside. If you're not the one who gets the ball straight away, then in the rules you're not offside. I'll just take one thing, because you guys know how much I love Postecoglou, and I've followed him for a while, and like what we've seen, I think is exactly him. However, my only criticism on probably him, because I feel like if he was talking about it, he'd criticize himself about it, is there must have been something in the game preparation where he overhyped the players. Because I think Romero on that red card is reckless, and 5 minutes before he's close to get a red card as well, because he kicked somebody in the calf when he's on the right wing over there. I think Udogie a couple of times had some reckless intervention as well. And I've seen Tottenham playing with intensity. But I think here and there was a little bit of, let's just give too much instead of giving with like a little bit of temperance. And I don't know if it was, all the games coming on or the hype coming to their head or something like that. But I feel like here and there they just gave more than what they should have. Outside of that, I think it's so shameful for Chelsea that they were not able to nick that game 4-1 after the hour mark when they're already against 9 players, because obviously they didn't know what to do, and it was so obvious which of the team was the best, even at 9 player. Like, nobody makes losing 4-1 good the way Postecoglou makes it look good. So I think it was a great performance. But when I saw Romero first, the kick on the calf, and then that red card, because to me it's 100% a red card. You got to be dumb to go like this against a player like Enzo Fernandez in your own box. You know what might happen, and you're taking a risk that you shouldn't be taken. But he took the same risk just before, and I think that's also why I'm very honestly surprised that Romero is actually still playing for Postecoglou. I feel like he's the kind of player that eventually Postecoglou can weed out, because he's got players like this in the past teams. The guy who like overly, sort of like motivates everybody, and he's the bark, etc., but always makes the dumb foul. And Postecoglou, as much as he loves good football and he pretend like he keeps saying that the what's important is emotion, etc., I know that he wants consistency and regularity, and these kind of players can get in the way of that. The last thing I want to say is the post games from Postecoglou, man, I just love them. It's like your uncle who's got all the wisdom, who just talks to you, and you got to respect the refs and you got to move on, and the football is a game where it's just all the things that you wish you could say and that you can only think about the day after. He's got them even when his blood is hot, and like, I have so much respect for that.
Jeremy, sorry, Quinny, to interrupt you. Do you know, Jeremy, how much I respect your football knowledge and your opinion in football? But I have to completely disagree with you on Cristiano Romero. I think he's absolutely immense and brutal, and I think he's a big part of why Ange is actually even that successful at Tottenham. Look what he did, and that's why you need players like him. Look what he did against Arsenal. He basically brought them back against Arsenal because he was pushing everybody. He's a freaking World Cup winner, starting 11. Nobody ever actually is going to fight for his place because he's settled. He is the center back for Argentina. Done. I think he's on at the moment on a level where he hasn't been before. He has very good teaching. He had the Italian teaching with Serie A. Then he got Conte, who also teaches him how to be aggressive, how to be a big centre back. And now he got Ange, and I think he's the perfect pair to Mickey van de Ven, who's a bit contrary to him. And you need him like to be the rock and also the leader and the aggressive leader as well. You need these people. I think, and now the other thing, I think they were all pretty hyped because, to be honest, the stadium was immensely hyped because they were top of the league. They could have been top of the league. It's super successful to Tottenham. They're playing amazing football at the moment. Everybody loves them in a way. So the atmosphere before the game was absolutely brutal. You could really feel it, and I think that the players felt it, especially in the first 15 minutes. They scored 2 goals and completely obliterated Chelsea. By the way, like Chelsea had no chance. Of course, you get pumped. Especially a guy like Romero, you know what I mean? And boom, and wants to put the chest out. I'm the king in the jungle, you know? Who are you? You know what I mean? And that's
and
exactly
you cost
what happened.
him the game.
Yeah, but that's exactly what happened.
I'm just saying, not to be like the Postecoglou historian, but at Brisbane and then with Australia when they win the Asia Cup, he had this guy in the midfield, not in defense. And in his book, he talks about his philosophy.
Yeah, but for example,
and he doesn't want this guy in defense. He wants this guy in the midfield.
I understand, but for example, at Yokohama Marinos, he had Thiago Martins, who is the type of Cristiano Romero player. Cristiano Romero is 20 times better than Thiago Martins. There's no comparison. But the type of how he is as a player, that's what he needed there. And that's also what made him great. And that's why Thiago Martins also went to MLS and earns now a DP contract. That's basically the fact, you know? And I
I think on this kind of situation, ultimately, Ange is not scared to sell anyone, you know, and if everyone loves Christian Romero and he's a World Cup winner and he's world class, Ange will sell him like that and he'll know exactly who he wants to buy. I think that's kind of the essence of kind of maybe where Jeremy's coming from at the very least. I don't think he'll hunt him out the door. He's very good, he's very useful.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great player.
But Ange won't be scared to replace him, or, you know, he's one of those ones where, and if Ange does replace him, it won't be a doppelganger. It might be somebody that's actually a totally different kind of model of a defender.
Sell him to Milan. We need him. Sell him to Milan. Done.
Chelsea won't spend 100 million. And then you'll be again. Anyway, I'm looking forward to listening to the podcast you're going to do about that, Quinny, because from what we talked quickly offline, that's going to be a fun episode for sure.
Well, it's funny you say about the post-match. Is the only kind of thing I want to say on this before we move on to like the other stuff that happened around Europe this week. Obviously, this is just tip of all of our tongues because it happened last night. We had Fedo there on the ground and on location, you know. But the post-matches for me, see Nicholas Jackson and Pochettino. I don't know if you've seen them yet, Fed, or if you got the same feed, Jeremy, because I know you're in Australia, so I don't know if it's like Sky, if it's the same like questions and all that. But see, like the first 2 or 3 questions both of them got, they're acting like we've beat Tottenham 4-1. That's the way they're acting for the first question or two. And then you see Pochettino, the penny drops, and then he's kind of like, oh, hold on, I better not like oversell this too much because we were actually pretty rubbish. And then he kind of remembers how the game went and his tone totally changes. And honestly, like, see, watching that game, I just thought, again, I don't know if we mentioned this before we came on or not, because it definitely has been said at some point today by one of you guys, but this was a horrible game for Pochettino's reputation for me. Like any actual football person watching Pochettino organise that team, it took them half an hour to beat the offside trap with 11 versus 9, with Eric Dyer and Emerson Royale in centre-back. Do you know what I mean?
Especially if you have a player like Raheem Sterling, who is not a good player, but could be clutch in exactly these situations, and they're not figuring it out. Exactly.
You know,
only Cucurella understood.
Yeah, only Cucurella understood.
Yeah, he had one, didn't
Brighton.
he? Yeah, so I just thought like Pochettino should be moderately embarrassed by that game. They should be bloody unlucky. They should feel so lucky. But I think, see, that game for Tottenham, like, imagine going into training today as one of those Tottenham players, man. They are going to have fire in their veins right now, you know, like 9 versus 11. They were so lucky to beat us. They'll be, you know, obviously Van de Ven, we hope it's not that long. It looks like something that could be a 3-month job. That hamstring pull was nasty looking. Hope it's not, but it looked significant.
Yeah.
So
Romero and the doggy miss the next match. But then after that, they're kind of back to where they were before this. So it's maybe a blip for a game or two, but I think you know, we'll see a lot of resilience come out of this dressing room because their fixtures. I made a video on Spurs a few days ago. Hardly anyone watched it. So, but if you go and check that one out, I talk about how like their fixtures, starting with the Chelsea game, is really important because like for me, it will probably kind of dictate how much money they get in January. Now, I think this fixture actually will say a lot about how much money they'll get in January because Van de Ven's probably out for 3 months. You've then got a month of maybe 2 weeks minimum to recovery, bed him into the squad again and get him back up and running. And that's significant portions of Tottenham season, you know. So their defence, like if you look at their squad before the Chelsea game, it's obvious that they're super thin in defence. Like as soon as anything happens to one of those two guys, it's there. So I think, it's going to be really fun watching the Tottenham team over the next couple of games because it is going to be about being absolutely made of steel and trying to grind through this really tough fixture list without the best defender and your suspension half the defence next week.
So basically, based on yours and Jeremy's comments, they sell Christian Romero for 100 million to Real Madrid and then buy 2 new defenders. So
Chelsea.
No, they're not selling it to Chelsea.
I think they've still got a lot of FFP in the bank, Tottenham. I think, you know, they've been notoriously very frugal.
He's good.
With making lots of revenue. So I think if Tottenham did want to turn the tap on and go spend 300 mil like Chelsea have, Tottenham could probably do stuff like that if they wanted, you know.
I think so too.
So it's like, does Levy think if he gives Ange the money, he'll get a return for it this year? Does Levy think if I give Ange 150, he'll get the league? You know, that's what I was thinking because if you look at the Chelsea game, it's Man City, it's West Ham, it's Newcastle. All these teams are on now for them. Imagine you got a great run of results against those teams. You go into January and go, give me all that money now. 100%. Let's go and do this. It's happening. Let's go and do this, you know.
It I just wanted to point out one more time to my great friends at Inter. You missed a big one with Guillermo Vicario. Big miss with that. He's man of the match performance. Even that was a goalie of the season performance. Absolutely incredible what he did, like for real.
Yep.
That Tottenham hype.
No, I love Vicario. I fell in love with him yesterday. This kid is crazy. Bam! Nothing more to say. And he had
17.
like 3 last man tackles. They should have added 3
Mate,
last man
I agree.
tackles.
At least,
sure.
At least 2.
100%.
Yeah, like for real.
Wow, that's a shit. I didn't even look at their scores on Sorry. That's a shit score for what it is.
6 keeper sweepers, minimum 2 of them are LMTs for sure.
Yeah.
Last man tackle,
1000%.
1000% on 2 of them. But yeah, very good performance from the Spurs. But probably the other big match we had this weekend as well, which was on Saturday at prime time, was their Klassiker. We had Harry Kane's Bayern Munich against Borussia Dortmund. And this was a game that I think everyone was looking forward to seeing how would it shake out. Would it be old Bayern, new Bayern, old Dortmund, new Dortmund? Who was going to turn up for any of them? And it was like old Bayern versus old Dortmund. Is that what we think?
Yeah.
Or
Basically. Yeah, basically.
What happened between Mateus and Thomas Tuchel? Did you see that, Fedo?
Yeah, of course. Thomas Tuchel is just an amazing guy, and that's why nobody really likes him, but a lot of people actually like him. Because he's just super. It's just very cocky and very in love, which is fine because you have to at a certain point. Because if you wouldn't be at that type of levels.
Yeah.
But basically, Didi Hamer, I don't know,
Yeah.
you should know, and Lothar Matthäus were heavily criticized how bad Bayern were, they have no inspiration, blah blah blah, and then he just went in and see, okay, now you can talk about how bad we are, basically, and and thank you very much. I have no comment for you too, basically, that's what happened, basically. Exactly, like basically this, like now talk about how bad we are, and that's what he did basically.
Harry Kane, man, is making an okay start in the Bundesliga. It's unstoppable.
Yeah, he's paying 10,000 a night at the hotel.
Yeah, I saw that today.
This is absolutely incredible.
He deserves it.
wow, that's incredible, man. But yeah,
You're
4 shots on target, 3 goals.
Yeah.
That's pretty much as good as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah, but 3 of them were pretty easy. 2 of them were pretty easy goals, to be honest. But yeah, that was just beautifully played up, and he's absolutely good, and he's not even yet 100% clinched. But how deep he drops and builds up the game is immense, and it's so important for the Bayern game at the moment. Bayern think I just is a bit fatigued, and like a lot of people, to be honest. I was known to the game he has and what he's capable to bring. But Konrad Laimer, what a player this man is! Like for real, he is absolutely amazing. And if he had already 2 ACLs in his life. That's the big problem. If he wouldn't have them, he would have been a lot more known to a lot more wider folk of football, basically, because this man knows how to play ball, like for real, and he also has the right mentality. And people now even discussing because they were played so good and they played so harmoniously, if Kimmich comes back to the game with right, because those 2 guys played so good in the defensive midfield.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that starting 11.
Yeah, it's a great team, and I have to make a public apology to one of my guys. I was not. Reckon with his game, but I think the last 10 matches I watched from him, he played good. Maybe he just needed some time or some pressure off the shoulders, but maybe Upamecano is actually going to become a good defender one day.
Maybe he was listening to you, and now that you said that, it's going to be shit again.
No tackles, one interception.
Yeah, but he was present. Oof. Like, this man is a buffalo, like, for real.
He's good. He's good. He's one of those guys that, for me, he's always going to be in amongst it when you are defending. He's never like absent in that sense. Like you say, he's he's quite omnipresent, but he's got a gaff in him. You know, he's got a soft pass. He's got a foul. You know, he's just. I think he's he's good. He's very good, but yeah, interesting to hear what you thought of the Lima performance as well. That's good to hear. I think Dortmund were pretty disappointing overall. We've got a comment here talking about how horrendous they are defending. I think Schlotterbeck just looks better and better every time I see him, to be honest with you. And I think like you can see he's done a lot in the match, but he's a standout. He's proper. You even see him in the final third playing some balls in and stuff like that. You know, like he's
proper god.
He's a line breaker.
I don't think he's world class though. I think he's a proper player, but I don't think he's gonna be a world class player.
Needs another step.
Yes, he needs another step. He's not like Mats Hummel used to be 10 years ago. That was another level still. You know what I mean? What I still don't like. Sometimes I don't understand Sorare metrics. Like for real, Hummels had a very bad game and he had 72, and Vicario had the game of his life and has a 32. You know what I mean? And it is what it is.
5 interceptions on his way to a triple.
That's the thing. But yeah,
triples are clutch. That's what you need. That's like scoring a goal, basically. You know, for these guys. You know, so yeah, fair enough.
Füllkrug, I'm sad for him because I do like him, even if I'm a complete Bayern fan, obviously. So Füllkrug, I do like him, and he had no clutch at all, and. Kobel brothers, like I'm saying this for some time now. Left corner, always in. Always. Just look at it. Left corner, if you shoot left corner, Kobel lets it in. He can't hold them. It's unbelievable. And that's a big flaw for a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
And I said that already twice in the pod, I think. Like, left corner, it's in. No way. Okay, now I have a question to my good friends, Quinny and Jeremy. If you are Real Madrid, you have 150 million to spend. Who do you buy? Do you buy Florian Wirtz or you buy Jamal Musiala?
Oof, mate. If I'm Real Madrid, I'm not buying any of them.
Oh, you don't need them. Yeah, you don't need them.
But if you have to buy one of them because you need your marketing to work, blah blah blah.
Yes.
If it's for marketing, it's Musiala.
You think you can market him better? Yeah, okay, then let's not make...
Musiala is like English, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He is English, but he's German. So he's way more marketable for me than Wirtz. If it's marketing, you're thinking about, you know, selling some shirts and all the rest of it. You'll get more Musiala people than you will Wirtz people. But I believe... oh, Jesus. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm really sorry.
Your house being drilled.
I don't know what's going on. There's not even any hedges outside
somebody
again.
coming in behind the wall.
Yeah, I've kind of moved away now. But what was a good? What was just? Oh yeah, Real Madrid. I've actually got a video coming out on my channel. It's meant to be today, but I think I've made it tomorrow now, or is it today? No, I can't remember. But I've actually went down the rabbit hole of what Real Madrid are going to do over the next couple of transfer windows. You know, with all the links they've had to Mbappe. They very much need defenders. You're spot on there.
Yeah.
They've been linked to Inacio recently in the last week or so.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to spend, what was the amount of money you gave me there? How much was
150.
I'm buying Alphonso Davies and Jeremy Frimpong for that team.
Alphonso Davies, brothers. Oof. Yeah.
And Jeremy Frimpong.
I think you can. I don't think Alphonso Davies is out of contract in summer, just by the way. So it could be an Alaba situation.
Yeah. So you're getting Davis for left back, you get Frimpong in at right back. Mbappe comes in the summer, you get Endrick in, 3-4-3, Bellingham, Valverde, and take your pick. Good fun. Yeah.
You don't need Mbappe.
But they're going to get him.
No.
Yeah.
You're there.
But
they're
going to
imagine that summer, brother. Imagine getting Mbappe and Davis for free in one summer. Imagine that, brother. Like
the one guy in France who worked with Real Madrid as like the French journalist for, I think it was like 25 years or whatever. He started in 98. He's saying that although Florentino Perez is dead set on getting Mbappe, the people around him at the club are telling him not to get Mbappe because of what he did last year when he said yes and then no, and to go and get Haaland instead.
Yeah, that's Haaland.
Okay. But yeah, I would. we
spoiler of what I was playing around with.
We are on the same page of getting Haaland. Us three, we would love to get Haaland to Real Madrid. He's the perfect man for them. By the way, if they have Vinny Jr., Mbappe, and Davis, I think they should start Olympic sprinting team though, because that's absolutely amazing.
I should create a new tactic where you play sort of 3-4-3 with more players on the left. Everybody's on the left.
But Real Madrid actually dropped the ball at the weekend. They drew 0-0, if memory serves me right. Bellingham didn't score. They didn't absolutely run over. You know, I know working out. I was going to mention Wirtz and Leverkusen there. They beat Hoffenheim 3-2. They still are doing Leverkusen things, expecting to heavily rotate against Qarabag on Thursday night to resume this Bundesliga effort that they're going for. But yeah, Real Madrid, bit of a banana skin drawn at the weekend. Atletico Madrid didn't make easy work of themselves either. They were playing Las Palmas. I'm pretty sure they dropped their points as well. And Girona had a bit of a barnstormer of a game as well. And they've, top goal scorers in the league, and they're riding high at the moment. Then you guys catch anything in Spain?
Just a few highlights, but I didn't.
I watched the last 15 minutes of Barcelona.
Oh, Barca.
Nothing.
Who does Barca have again?
Real Sociedad 1-0 for Barca.
Oh, yeah. I unfortunately missed that game. What was it like?
Last 15 minutes were Barcelona pressing, basically. I don't understand how Ter Stegen got a 95 and Vicario only got 30, but that's another... Yeah.
Well, Vicario did concede 4. Vicario did concede 4.
But he got 2 last-man tackles, so that's already 70. You know what I mean? Get it back to 70. My man, fair. It's just basketball, Xavi ball, basically. João Cancelo, if he plays on this wing position, he's not gonna be that great anymore in Soria, as he would have been as a left back. If he plays on the left wing, he played on the wing. Araujo, he's good, but Araujo, immense player. Araujo, unfortunately, he plays for Barcelona, but Araujo would be the perfect guy for Real Madrid, to be honest. And this defense, we talked about this already. I think this is just a beautiful defense of Koundé and Araujo and Ter Stegen. It's unbelievable. And Gundogan did his thing. Gavi, Pedri apparently is fit again, so he's gonna play in Champions League tomorrow, I think. So at least that's what Harry told me as well, Mr. Pedri boy. And just Barca things. Lewandowski looks like not sharp at all at the moment. I'm not sure what's the plan with him. He's still a world-class player, and he's always going to be, but probably going to leave him. Summer, he's probably gone. Maybe even winter already. I'm hearing that he might go to LAFC in winter. João Felix. Always with João Felix, he starts hot and then he goes down. Always. Just João Felix.
I was going to say, I heard a statistic this week that Gavi has won more duels than anyone else in La Liga.
Oof.
So I thought, I'll check how many duels he won in this game. He won 11.
I don't want to be offensive in a way by comparing him to something, but Gavi's just a pit bull. Even if you just see him play on the game, on the field, he's just cleaning up pit bull. Nothing else. Yeah. Bit like Gary Medel in very much better than Gary Mendel. But
that's a very good comparison.
Yeah. 3 interceptions for Gundo, nice. And then Gundogan's a big part of this team, isn't he? And he was he was making headlines, I think, after a game recently for demanding more from the team and all the rest of it. But yeah, it was interesting to hear your take on it. I've never seen the match myself. I'm sure Larry Allen will be disappointed.
Important that they won because they lost El Klassiker to Bellingham, obviously. But so they had to be going back on winning streak because Girona is top of the league and they need to catch up.
Yeah. And it's
I think it's after the Classico that Gundogan said that, like he said, he went to the locker room after the game and he saw people that were just okay with it, and he said we need to be more upset and we need to not want to lose those games ever again and da 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 da.
Oh, Atletico has 1 game left. Oh, interesting.
So La Liga's quite tight for that top 4, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
La Liga.
Girona 29 goals scored.
Yeah. Alexi Garcia.
Very, very good. It looks good for Atletico, right? See the amount of people that talk to me about, or I see articles, how Simeone's got Atletico attacking more and all the rest of it. So if you actually look at Atletico, right, they've scored however many goals was there, but they've had like 2 games where they've really bossed somebody, like in the league. Somebody, they beat Vallecano 7-0. And then, I think it's just there's a couple of threes. Osasuna 3, Real Madrid 3, Cadiz 3, Celta 3. That's all it is. There's not as if they're like spanking people regularly or anything. Obviously losing at the weekend here to old LP. I actually watched this game as well. I remember it now that I see it.
Quinny, you're excited for tonight?
I am, because like Las Palmas, for any of you that don't know, they're in Gran Canaria. I'm pretty sure they are anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're in Gran Canaria. They're a little island, for any of you that don't know. And Gran Canaria, again, I've not checked this on a map, so feel free to fact check me. But I remember going to Gran Canaria on holiday and people telling me it was closer to Africa than Spain. Like it's a far away wee island. Anyway, and it looked hot AF when you watched this match. And I don't know. I thought Atleti they don't look that great at the moment. So I'm quite excited for Celtic's chances tonight if they play anywhere near the way they did against Las Palmas, which will probably be quite a similar affair. They've played one man up front. They were trying to play intricate balls for counter-attacks and stuff. So, I'm quite excited for tonight for a slight tangent.
Just to complete your geographical knowledge, Las Palmas is like fully in Africa.
There you go.
Spain, Africa, and it's like off the west coast of Morocco. Like it's as far. It's probably further for Madrid, for Atletico to go to Las Palmas than it is to go to Glasgow.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's that far.
It's like
I'm glad I was right there. I was watching the game and I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure this team's in Gran Canaria, because when you look at them, man, it looked like they were all pissing with sweat the whole game. Like really hot match. In that sense. So not a favourable climate for them, of course, but so anyway, that's neither here nor there. Not an easy game for them this weekend, and they're playing tonight, not a long, that was 4 nights ago. It was Friday night, I think they played that match. So flight back from Morocco on Friday night, back into Madrid, and then so I fancy our chances. And again, I'll mention Girona. We'll have a wee peek at Girona. Again, I've got a video on my own channel about Girona coming out this week, because I just think it's about time. They're definitely they're up there now. They're up there fighting this season, and they looked really good, bang for buck again this weekend. I think Osasuna, gave them more of a fight than maybe Girona would have expected, but Osasuna are no mugs either. They've been a top half team for a couple of seasons, did well in a few of the cups recently as well, but in Europe once or twice also. But that was a good game to watch, and honestly, I don't think you can watch Girona and it's going to be a boring match. You've seen that last season when they had some really good players that also they've not got this year. And again, they're very, you know exactly how they're going to play, and they kind of keep delivering it on a regular basis. So Alias Garcia, I said this about Laird, but he is pretty fixture-proof for me. And the only thing that's going to slow him down is minutes and injuries and stuff like that, because again, if you watch him, he's not doing anything that's not that repeatable. And when it comes to so rare, you're after repeatable situations like Dovbike getting a 91 with triple decisive. How repeatable is that? Not very, right? Maybe it happens in our one time this season. Fair enough, right? But guys like this, been in it against Osasuna, mid-table team, one shot on target, 6 balls into the box. Well, he takes all the set pieces. Very repeatable. 9.7 points here. 1 interception. No positive duels. He's actually lost more possession than he's won. But he's been on the ball enough times to get enough passes to rack the points. Not even won a tackle. He's blocked across. Whoopee. Nothing else going from there. So very, I know he's got a decisive in this instance, but he takes the set pieces. He's got a goal there. And when you're looking through Sourier stacks and squads and stuff like that, there's always key players that clearly stand out as the ones that are bossing it. He's a great example of now. But even in a game like that where they've conceded goals, he's not had as much possession. He still managed to come out of it pretty good. And I think that's probably one of the most fun things about building a little stack out of a team from Sourier is if you get to know the style of play and you can understand where the main players and the scores are going to come from in that sense. So I think they're a really fun stack that's showing that, maybe not quite miracles. I'm not sure people have been winning much with them yet, but you can get, good bang for buck in champion, even with budget guys, if you know the right player in the team.
Savio Garcia. I was going through, I'm diverging a little bit. I was trying to find a Christmas stack. I was like, Christmas is going to come and we're going to miss out on players and of course, who's playing Premier League, right? So I started to look at
and Scotland
fixtures and players who score well and and that's why I bought Palinha from Fulham, because Fulham over Christmas plays Burnley and Bournemouth on the 27th, 24th and 26th. Mind you, just before they play Newcastle and just after they play Arsenal. But for those 2 games, that's who they play. And then I was looking for who I'm going to take defensively. And like Issa Diop sort of came up and he might be the one I take. But looking about Alex Garcia stats there, if you look at Palinha stats, and if you just look at how he plays anyway, there's like 5 or 6 tackles every single game. There's about 6 to 15 duels won every single game. There's obviously you got the 100 there, but there's all, like you say, those repeatable things that when you see how he plays, that's all he does. Like he goes into the midfield and you see somebody, and sometimes it feels like it's a bit reckless, but he just throws himself out there and starts sending all those tackles. He's got those like Patrick Vieira-ish legs where he can recover quite a bit of ball as well. But yeah, I was looking at what stack to get without spending too much, because it's for that like odd week. And I thought, Fulham's playing 2 of the worst teams in the league. And that I actually don't mind too much how Fulham play sometimes, because they tend to press high half an hour out of the whole game. And Palinha is definitely instrumental in there.
Yeah, very good. And I think Tottenham, not Tottenham, sorry, I beg your pardon. I think Bayern are going to be quite... I see a lot of teams, Juve and Bayern, I'm sure, linked to Calvin Phillips. And it feels like this guy was the main guy that's was the number 6 going around. Bayern obviously almost signed him in the summer and it didn't really pan out. But yeah, looking at his form, he's obviously not let that move knock him down too much. He's really kept his level, maybe even improved upon it. So yeah, great shout, mate. Love to see that. And like I say, it is repeatable actions. He's playing against, he's Fulham, and he's just having to make tackles and play against teams that are attacking you because you're Fulham, So yeah, I love that. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think what else over the weekend was the main things we wanted to make sure we touched on today. But we've mentioned Germany, Spain, Italy. So the main stat I seen, right? This will probably just take us into Italy and we can roll around from there, right? But the one I found an amazing laugh was, it's a pure great Allegri analogy, but obviously Juve seem, you see this, you think, Juve beat Fiorentina 1-0. Oh, cool, right? Maybe Fiorentina, it's a good result and whatever, And then when you look at the stats, 32% possession, 4 shots on target. This is Juve away. Fiorentina haven't really scored that well either. It's not as if Fiorentina have really played them off the park and been electric and been knitting together passes and making shapes and buying fouls and playing free kicks in. It's just Allegri balls happened, hasn't it, Fedo?
That's a pure Allegri ball, and that's how they want to play, and he wants to play, and that's how he was successful. That's how he won the leagues, and as we all know, strikers win the matches, defense win the leagues. That's how it goes, and that for him, defense was always the most important. To be honest, this is still a very much heated game. Fiorentina-Juve is kind of a derby, even. It has a special place in most hearts, especially for Fiorentina fans, because they always lost all the best players to Juve. That's why they hate Juve, basically. In recent time, Chiesa and Vlahovic, but even before that. And so that's always a big heated match. Allegri seems to really like Moise Kean at the moment. I think he's a bloody talented striker. I don't think he's good at Juve, and I think he needs to change squad. But at the moment, he seems to really enjoy playing him, or at least his work ethnicity, because he's starting him in the last 3 games over Vlahovic, and that means something, And this just Allegri ball. What else can you say? And the craziest thing is Danilo is not even playing. The Mr. Allegri ball, and
yeah. Fiorentina is one of the teams that I like to see play as well. Like I think under Italiano they play okay, and obviously against Allegri ball it's hard. But it's weird because it's one of those teams that I feel like when you watch them play, they look better than on Sorare. Because I like the football that they play, but they just lack a bit of talent. But yeah, on the stats on that game, I was talking about it offline. At the end of the first half, Juventus had gone only 6 times in the final third, and they were winning 1-0 against Fiorentina. It's just ridiculous.
It is kind of ridiculous, but if they didn't allow Fiorentina to have good enough chances to win the game, which they obviously did, they won the game, and that's what counts.
Yeah,
and that's football.
Yeah.
And if you are like Juve away is gonna play like this, and Italiano, the coach of Fiorentina, knew that, but they still got their game plan together and done it. So you can hate Allegri. I don't like him personally because I think Juve could play a lot better. We have seen better Juve this season, though. I have to give him that. Like, especially at home, they're playing really good. And yeah, it's just Allegri ball. And what can you say? It's just immense defensive work.
It's
and
poor.
as Jose Mourinho said, just sign up Chiellini, Barzagli, and Bonucci to Harvard and teach them defense. That's what they do at Juve. And that's what I said at the beginning of the season, why I think Juve is going to be up there. And they are up there.
Are we going to see, Fedo, Quinny's prediction be right for the group of death in Champions League and AC Milan finishing last?
Yeah, but we are in a very bad moment. It could actually come true. I think we could battle it with Dortmund because Dortmund is an even worse moment than we are at the moment. We just got unlucky not to win in Signal Iduna Park as well with Newcastle. We should have won the first game, then we would have been in a completely different position as we are at the moment. Problem is, like, Pioli, Pioli needs to go. He needs to.
How long does he still have?
The problem is he won the fucking Scudetto, so that's why he got a lot of credits for. But even the ultras, which never booed him the last game, basically. Okay, and that's a big statement because they were really crediting him the Scudetto because it was a Scudetto after a long time where Milan played also some good, decent football. And that's why he had a special heart in the heart. You know, after they won the Scudetto, the biggest hit in Italy in summer was Pioli's on fire, you know? And that's why they gave him this big period. But after Udine, even them booed. And that's hard. That's pretty hard. If your ultras really boo you, in San Siro, not away, in San Siro, you get booed by your ultras. That's absurd. I think we didn't actually play that bad. The problem is, Leao and Giroud is not clicking at the moment, and Milan depends so heavily on Giroud's and Leao's goals. It's unbelievable because nobody seems to be able to score a goal. Like, I love Tijani, and I think he's absolutely exceptional player, but this man needs to actually once finish a goal because he had already like 5-6 chances where he had to do a goal in this season, and he is not scoring a goal. He could have scored the goal as well against Udine there. A very good chance, and that's the last bit he needs. He had that at Alkmaar. Maybe it's too much pressure. I don't know. He knew how to score goals at Alkmaar. Of course, it's a Dutch league. It's not Serie A. It's a completely different league. Serie A is just best defending league in the world. It is what it is. But like, we can't lose against Udinese if we want to play for the Scudetto. And I think we're good enough for the Scudetto. We have enough depth. Plus, we're like, to be honest, like, we have like the half of the squad is injured at the moment. Like, everybody's injured. Like, we probably can't even rotate and give somebody a pause, a break for getting back into fitness because he has to play because no other players. Krunic also got injured again. He's out already 3 weeks again. Pulisic, I think they injected him so much painkillers that he might be able to play tonight. But it's Ruben Loftus-Cheek was injured for 4 weeks. Now he's coming back. He's going to play tonight against PSG. But like, we can't. Adli, he did a good job. Theo Hernandez, he's actually injured, but we need him to play. That's why they kept him out and pushed him, pumped him up with medicals. You know what they destroy their bodies basically. But sometimes you have to do it. Same what Muslera is going to do with Bayern today. Apparently he's playing Muslera. This is crazy. And
I heard that too.
Yeah, and the defense actually looks good. I think Tomorin Tiev is good, very good. Mike Magnon as well. the moment we won't concede a goal, these scores are going to be much higher. Without the goal, Tomori would have been on a 70, the same with Dia in a way. So that's the big score. And they play good. That was no pen, in my opinion. Like, that was the softest pen I've seen in a long time. He basically fell in the box, and Adli didn't actually even touch him, in my opinion. But, yeah, Jovic is absolutely a disaster. I don't know why you ever chose to buy Jovic, but they had to. It was a rush decision at the end of the last day of the transfer market because they needed somebody to cover for Giroud. But sadly we couldn't get Taremi, who would have been the best man for the job. But yeah, it is what it is. I hope we come out of this. I have faith in our squad. Rafael Leao, my man, like, I think you're better than Doku, but show the world that you're better than Doku. You know what I mean? Because this man, he lacks confidence at the moment. That's all. And you completely feel that because Milan is so heavily dependent on him and Giroud linking up. Him putting in on Giroud putting in the net, basically. That's what we have been surviving on from the starting of the season, because we can't. I said that in the preseason, and then somehow they won 4-0 against Bologna, which now, by the way, are a pretty good team.
Very good.
At the start of the year, at the preseason, we struggled to score goals, and that comes back. And I said that, and now it comes back and it shows. We actually struggled to score goals. We can't score goals. Our defense is fine, to be honest. That was no pen. There was no other real situation they could have scored in a way. That's why you see also Mike Maignan score, because he had nothing to do. And the only time where our defense completely fell apart was against Ousmane Dembélé and Kylian Mbappé. But you can excuse that at a certain point. You know what I mean? Just of individual class of those two players. But it's just our attack. We can't score a goal, even if our life depends on it. That's the thing. Yeah. We didn't score a single goal in the Champions League.
In form again.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like they've hit their stride now.
Yeah, brother. Like, we haven't scored in the Champions League yet. We haven't. It's unbelievable.
I was going to say earlier, I do think the Scudetto win, and I think we've spoken about this before, Fedo, was a bit of a poison chalice for AC Milan, because like Pioli was close to getting sacked anyway. And he'd made a few transfers, and they weren't, like, Leal wasn't really working out at that point, you know, and Rebic, Ibra, and but then it just
why he got sacked.
It just turned around. Yeah, they just turned it around and won the Scudetto, and then, as you see, ever since it's not really been the same gig, has it? But yeah, PSG are picking up the form, aren't they? They seem to be getting, like, it's the Zaire Emery show. I think for all of us, we're all enjoying watching this guy emerge, but the rest of this team is really starting to tick over, isn't it?
I think Luis Enrique has found a way to win despite his strikers, which all his coaches before they needed to win with the strikers, and Luis Enrique is like showing them that he doesn't need them. Because Colomwani is playing pretty badly. Dembele is not much better, and Mbappe somehow just isn't able to find his usual level. Like, he still touches the ball every single opportunity. I'm a bit surprised of that score, to be honest. He touched the ball quite a bit against Montpellier, but it's because everybody else does such a good job. Like, Lee Kang-in is having a good time right now at PSG, and of course that assist, it's a goal, sorry, helped him taking the set pieces. Also kind of help for the scores. He takes half of the corner kicks, but he's really gelling well, in the sense that he fights hard the same way Ugarte fights hard next to him. He recovers quite a few balls, and every time he's got the ball, it's just one control, one pass, and he's looking for either Dembele or Mbappe. So he's able to, like, they're all able to score good scores by just doing this. And then it's Mbappe and Dembele who are losing the ball, or Colomwani. Colomwani is, like, very disappointing. I'm wondering how long until he gets dropped. Like, they have to play him. They spend the amount of money. They have to show that they trust him and that they can bring his confidence back. But against a team like Montpellier is suffering this year. Like, it's just not there. I don't know how they won 3-0 last week against Toulouse, but they did. But it's just not there. But against Montpellier and those two little defenders that are not the best, Colomwani was unable to be, like, the anchorman. And every time he had the ball, he had somebody coming in front of him. Every time he had the ball facing the right direction, he was making the wrong choice. He's a bit in his shoes, and yeah, I'm wondering how he gets out of that. Mukiele did okay. So, like, his first shot of the season.
I love him. I love him. He's such a great player. I loved him at Leipzig as well. I really wanted him. I because I know some agents and also some scouts and everything, and I really tried to push him to go to Bayern, because at the moment when they search for somebody like him, because I think he's absolutely enormous player if he wants to be, like a bit under the radar like Conny Leimer, but he's a serious player if he wants.
I think he should definitely set himself up to be like Marquinhos' sort of like successor, because he can kind of belong in there. But yeah, left back he was pretty impressive, and that kid in front of him that nobody knows about, Al Taurasi, he's a bit of an annoying striker. The guy who plays for Montpellier, he's from, I don't want to say anything wrong, but I think he's from Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually a pretty annoying player to play against. And Mukiele did well, although he lost his temper a little bit against him for a first game of the season, when obviously he doesn't have the trust of the coach. He really answered well, Mukiele.
Yeah, but really busy defence they've got, because still coming off the bench you've got Lucas Hernandez. There's obviously still Nuno Mendes not in this picture either. So yeah, very busy midfield. And again, look at the bench: Fabian Ruiz, Carlos Soler. Up front, we're talking about Muani and Carlo Ramos, and obviously we've got
Zaire Emery's goal, though. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Everybody's
pure street football, isn't it?
He's a monster. Everybody's saying that he's going to be in the next French national team. I hope he stays with. I hope he stays with the under 23, because being the captain of the team, coached by Thierry Henry, I feel like you can only progress. And I think you want to do your basics under that guy before you go and play for Deschamps and you're being told to forget about football. But yeah,
do you think Deschamps listens to Henry? Do you think that's a dynamic where Deschamps goes, all right, Terry, you can have him.
You can have him and Mbappe and everybody else for the Euro, and then we'll see. You know, they're talking about calling back Lloris and Varane for the Euro.
Why?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you can have two players out of the under 23, right? And they're saying that they want to thank them. Oh. Supposedly, it's been like discussed for a long time that they're retired and then they want to win the Euro at home.
Fair enough. Interesting. I don't know. If it's the Olympics, I get that. But the Euros, Olympics. Unders feels like...
odd. Sorry. The Olympics. Did I say the Euros? I'm sorry. The Olympics.
Olympics. Olympics would be cool.
But didn't Mbappe want to play? I think Mbappe wants to play the Olympics. I heard that he wants in the contract that he wants to play Olympics to get the goals with France, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Mbappe says he wants to win the Euro and win the Olympics, and he wants to play both. And that's why he hasn't re-signed the contract, because when you re-sign the contract, whoever signs him know that they can't have him until the end of September, because he needs holidays after the Olympic Games. Yes. So I don't know which team will be happy to not have
Neymar played the Olympics as well, right? Neymar played them and won them. I think Neymar won the Olympics, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but he doesn't play football anymore, so that's fine.
No, he doesn't play football anymore, but he won them, I think, in Brazil. Yeah, I think in Brazil he won them.
Did. Messi won the Olympic as well.
He did?
I don't know.
I was going to ask. I know Argentina have won the Olympics, but I'm not sure if it was... I'm not sure if Messi
Are you sure?
has.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't rule it out. Certainly would not rule it out, but I'm not sure.
On a side note, some shit happened in Milan overnight. I don't know if you saw, but the ultras of Paris and Milan fought each other, and a Paris fan got stabbed. He's alive, but yeah, he got stabbed. I just been saying that right now.
It's ultra stuff. Nothing you can do. It's ultra.
Paris are mates with Napoli, so
yeah. But they are ultras. It's another world.
Yeah.
It's not
a different
football.
game. For sure. On that note, guys, we've got Champions League kicking off tonight. Celtic are playing tonight, so I'm mad hyped for that. For yourself, Sorare-wise, for your teams, any fixtures that's on the TV, what are you guys looking forward to, particularly from the Champions League, but anything in midweek Europe in general?
Messi won the Olympics in 2008. Sorry, I was looking. looking it up. I apologize.
You did.
I'm going to watch the Europa League and try and hope that Marseille doesn't lose. So I'm going to try and skip the Champions League all the way to the Europa League.
Fair enough, mate.
By the way,
Who do you have this week?
I mentioned I had to
Athens.
Jeremy, because Marseille played Lille. Why didn't Jonathan David start?
He's not in good. What's the word? He's not seen well right now at Lille. They'd rather play without a striker than play with Jonathan David. So it's something's going on at Lille with Jonathan David, but I think his motivation is basically questioned. So I think at first it was Fonseca being scared of coming to play in Marseille and deciding to play without the number 9, so he didn't have to open himself. And you should have seen Yazici wasn't striker; he was playing in the midfield. So Lille did very, very well in the midfield. They had most of the ball, but then Marseille were okay-ish, and then were really bad for the rest of the game. And so David, I think he got the 91st minute, which is a bit disrespectful. If he had put him in at the 75th minute, I think Lille could have won the game because you had Cabella, Unas, and David on the bench. And as soon as they came in, they really, really hurt Marseille, albeit making all the wrong decision in the end. So I think there's an issue. There's definitely an issue in the Lille squad right now where something is going on with their best player because Fonseca's putting them on the bench because they're not fighting hard enough for him, I think. Surprising. Ben Taleb is really becoming good right now for Lille.
Yeah.
On the side, not in the midfield.
To be honest, Jonathan David, Fonseca was always a strange guy, even at Roma. He's just a strange guy. But, interesting.
Stuck in his way. We haven't answered the questions, but I'm actually going to watch Milan against PSG and be doubly sad for the week because I'm going to see PSG actually be good.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a good return game for Milan. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Cool. And we had one in the comments here. Looking forward to Arsenal playing Seville. So that'll be a good one for Arsenal in their group for sure. Especially all the noises we're going in the Premier League, man. Hope maybe Arsenal just getting back to on the pitch. 2-1 away in Spain. Yeah,
but I think it's time. I think on a side note, I think now he has to drop Raya at some point to put Ramsdale back in. Or is he just fixed now?
I've heard rumours that Ramsdale's already looking for new clubs. He's out. He's leaving. He's like, fuck yous, I'm out.
It's pretty disrespectful the way they did it. I understand that Arteta wanted to do his thing or whatever, but it's not like Ramsdale did anything wrong.
Yeah, but I think I'm feeling anyways Arteta's a bit losing his shit at the moment, to be honest. But
yes, Charlie.
Yeah.
Sevilla but Sevilla can't win because if they win, then there's a chance they don't get to the Europa League, and Sevilla wants to go to the Europa League. So,
of course,
they want to play. They don't want to play Champions League.
Who cares?
Ramos will be up. This will be a fun game to watch, guys. Like Ramos, Rakitic, Jesus Navas. They've got some veterans in here. It's probably not going to be that fun, in terms of exciting football. But they're definitely going to be playing to all the wee tricks in the trade and try to kill the clock and buy some fouls and some bookings. Maybe frustrate Arsenal.
Shit. They have a World Cup champion winner at Sevilla. Didn't know that. I forgot that.
Yeah, of course. Marcos, the only player I have from Sevilla.
That's it.
Is he?
Magic guys.
He might be suspended. Anyway.
I was going to say, I think that's probably about all we've got. Thanks everyone that's joined us live. Fist bumps to you all. And we will be back next week to have a look at the games that have been and the games that are going and everything else in between. Stay out of trouble, everyone. Thanks again, Fedo. Thanks again, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Take care.
Catch you in the next one.